The Sleepless Princess, a night of desperation. The great hall of the Starship Palace was silent, but the silence was thick, heavy like a storm waiting to break. High above, the stars glimmered coldly, distant and indifferent. Inside her chamber, Princess Kayla lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She had not slept for years. Her large eyes, sharp and bright like twin moons, reflected a restless storm within. The soft hum of the life support systems mixed with the faint creak of the ship's hull, but her mind would not rest. No matter the calming music, no matter the ancient herbs or advanced medicines, sleep refused to come. The princess twisted under her silken sheets, her heart pounding like a war drum in her chest. "Why now?" she whispered to the empty room. "Why can I not rest?" Outside her window, a star cruiser drifted silently in orbit. It was a gift from the human alliance, an unfamiliar presence in the vast galaxy she ruled. It was strange, unsettling, like a shadow stretching across her dreams. Suddenly, a faint noise echoed in the hallway, soft footsteps, careful and slow. Kayla's sharp eyes snapped to the door. Her guards, sworn to protect her, never came this late. The palace was secure, so who dared? Before she could move, the door slid open quietly. A man stepped inside. He was tall and lean, dressed in simple clothes, unlike the glittering robes of her court. His eyes held a strange calm, a gentle confidence that made Kayla's heart skip. Without fear, he walked forward, stopping at the edge of her bed. The guards should have stopped him, but there were no guards. "Who are you?" "Kayla," demanded, voice trembling. The man smiled softly. "I am called Ethan. I come from a world far from here." Kayla's pulse quickened, but she did not scream. There was something in his eyes, not threat, but a secret hope. "How did you get past the palace guards?" she asked, wary. Ethan's smile faded. "That is a story for another time. Right now, I am here to help you." "Help me? You don't even know me." "No," he said, "but I know why you cannot sleep. And I know what haunts you." Kayla stared at him, heart pounding. How could this stranger claim to know her deepest pain? Suddenly the chamber lights flickered. A subtle tremor rippled through the palace like a warning. The stranger's eyes narrowed. "We don't have much time." Kayla swallowed hard. She wanted to run, to call for help, but something held her still. "Tell me," she said quietly. Ethan stepped closer, the warmth of his presence soothing the icy fear inside her. "You are not cursed, princess," he said. "Something unnatural is stealing your rest, something dark and dangerous." Kayla's mind raced. For years, she thought her sleeplessness was a punishment from the gods or a mysterious illness. But this man, this human, spoke of a threat she could fight. "Why do you care?" she asked, voice breaking. "Because I've seen the darkness before," Ethan said, "and because sometimes the strangest strangers can be the greatest allies." Kayla's breath hitched as the door suddenly slammed shut behind Ethan. The locks clicked. They were trapped. Outside the chamber, shadows moved silently. Someone, or something, was watching. Kayla's eyes darted to the corner, where a faint, shifting shape lingered like a ghost. She reached out, trembling, to touch Ethan's hand. "I don't know who you are, but if you're the only hope I have, then I'm ready to trust you." Ethan nodded. "Good, because the real nightmare is just beginning." The stars outside shone coldly, silent witnesses to a night that would change everything. Secrets in the shadows. Unlikely allies. The heavy door clicked shut behind them, sealing Kayla and Ethan inside the princess's chamber. For a moment, the silence was unbearable. Only the soft hum of the starship's life systems filled the air, but beneath that hum, a storm was brewing. Kayla watched Ethan carefully. "You say you know what's stealing my sleep. Tell me. Now." Ethan took a slow breath. "I don't know everything, but I know it's not a natural sickness. You're being targeted by someone or something very dangerous. Kayla frowned, her mind racing. Who would want to do this? To me? Ethan's gaze darkened. Someone who wants control. Someone who wants to see you broken. She swallowed hard. The thought stabbed like a knife. Had there been signs, clues she had missed? The quiet looks from her court, the hushed conversations that stopped when she entered the room. Suddenly, a soft knock echoed from the door. Kayla's eyes snapped to the sound. "Who is that?" she demanded. "Stay calm," Ethan whispered. "Let me handle this." The door slid open slightly, revealing a slender figure in the dim corridor light. Woman stepped inside, tall, graceful, with eyes like liquid silver. "My princess," she said softly. "I am Lyra, your most loyal aide. I came as soon as I heard unusual activity." Kayla's heart jumped, relief mixed with suspicion. "You came alone?" Lyra nodded. "The palace guards are on high alert. Something is wrong, but we do not know what yet." Kayla exchanged a look with Ethan. "We need to work together." Ethan nodded in agreement. "There's no time to waste. Whatever haunts you is close, closer than you think." Lyra's face hardened. "We need to find out who is behind this before it's too late." The three of them moved quickly through the starship's ancient corridors, silent, shadowed halls lined with glowing panels and alien artwork. The palace felt like a living thing, watching, waiting. Ethan led the way to a hidden control room, deep within the ship's core. "This is where I found my way here," he said quietly. "I was lost, but then I discovered this place. It holds secrets about your sleeplessness and the forces at work." Kayla leaned over the controls, her fingers trembling as she scanned data streams of star charts, energy readings, and encrypted messages. "Look here," Ethan said, pointing to a strange signal. "It's been interfering with your mind, blocking your ability to rest." Kayla frowned. "But who is sending it and why?" Lyra's voice was tight. "Someone powerful. Someone with access to the palace systems." Suddenly, alarms blared, a red light flashed. "Security breach," Lyra shouted. The door slammed shut behind them. Kayla's pulse raced. Ethan reached for a hidden panel and activated a protective shield. "We're trapped," he said grimly. "They want to stop us." "Who?" Kayla asked, panic rising. "No one we can trust," Ethan answered. "The enemy hides in plain sight." Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the control room speakers. "Princess Kayla," it said coldly. "You have been a difficult patient." The voice belonged to Lord Varkon, the highest advisor to the throne, a man known for his charm and cunning. Kayla's blood chilled. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded, her voice strong despite the fear. Varkon laughed. "Because power is worth any price, and your sleeplessness is a tool I control." Lyra's eyes flashed with anger. "You'll never get away with this." Varkon's voice was cruel. "You're already too late." Suddenly the lights flickered. The shield around the control room began to weaken. "We need to move," Ethan yelled. Kayla took Lyra's hand. "We have to find the source of that signal and destroy it." Ethan nodded. "It's deeper in the ship, in the ancient communication tower." They raced through narrow stairways and twisting corridors, the ship shaking as unseen forces tried to stop them. Kayla's mind burned with questions. Why did Varkon want to control her? What was the secret behind her sleeplessness? And who was this stranger, Ethan, risking everything to save her? The corridor ended at a massive door, covered in strange alien symbols. Ethan placed his hand on the panel, and the door hissed open. Inside was a vast chamber filled with glowing crystals pulsing with dark energy. At the center stood a strange device, a psychic amplifier humming with power. Kayla stepped forward, heart pounding. "This is it," Ethan said, "the source of your nightmare." She reached out to touch the device. Suddenly a shadow moved in the corner. A figure lunged. It was a trusted aide, but now revealed as a traitor. The traitor grabbed Kayla's arm with cold, cruel strength. "Your reign ends tonight," he hissed. Ethan jumped forward, tackling the man away. Kayla broke free and grabbed a control lever. Smashing the device, the chamber shook violently. Energy exploded around them. As the device shattered, a dark wave swept the room. Kayla felt a strange force trying to pull her under. Ethan grabbed her hand. "Hold on!" he shouted. The chamber collapsed. Into darkness. Kayla woke to the soft glow of emergency lights. Ethan was beside her, bruised but alive. "We did it," he said quietly. "But they'll be back." Kayla looked around. "We have to be ready," she said. Outside, the palace corridors were eerily quiet, but shadows still lurked. Someone watched from the darkness. Their eyes gleamed with cruel intent. The hidden enemy. Betrayal and trust. The emergency lights flickered faintly in the corridor outside the shattered psychic amplifier chamber. Kayla and Ethan, still catching their breath, moved cautiously down the narrow hallway. Lyra followed silently, her face pale but resolute. They had won a small victory, but the cost was clear. Someone close to Kayla had betrayed her, someone she had trusted. "How deep does this conspiracy go?" Kayla whispered, her voice heavy. With pain, Ethan glanced around, alert. "Farther than we imagined." They reached the command deck, where the palace's central control systems hummed quietly. Kayla moved to a terminal, fingers flying over the controls as she searched for signs of other breaches. Lyra watched her nervously. "Princess, I'm sorry. I never suspected my closest friend." "Don't blame yourself," Kayla interrupted sharply. "We must stay focused." Suddenly, the screens flickered, and a new message appeared. Encrypted and urgent. Ethan's eyes narrowed. "It's a distress signal from the outer communication towers." Kayla's heart sank. That's where the conspiracy must be rooted. Without hesitation, they prepared to leave. But just as Kayla reached for her weapon, the doors hissed open, and a group of palace guards surrounded them. "By order of Lord Varkon," the lead guard announced, "you are under arrest for treason." Kayla's breath caught. "Treason? I am the princess." The guards advanced, weapons raised. Ethan stepped protectively in front of Kayla. "We won't let you take her," he said fiercely. A struggle erupted. Ethan fought fiercely, but the guards were many. Lyra looked torn, but made no move to help. Overpowered, Kayla and Ethan were restrained and led away through winding corridors, their fate uncertain. In a cold, dimly lit cell deep beneath the palace, Kayla sat alone, her wrists bound. Doubt and fear gnawed at her. Why had her own people turned against her? What secret was Lord Varkon hiding? Her thoughts were interrupted by footsteps approaching. The cell door slid open, revealing Lyra. Kayla's eyes flashed with betrayal. "Why?" Lyra looked down, ashamed. "I had no choice. They threatened my family." Kayla's voice softened, but her pain remained. "We must find a way out, together." Lyra nodded. "There's a hidden passage behind the east wall. I'll help you escape." That night, under the dim glow of emergency lights, Kayla and Lyra slipped through the secret tunnel. Ethan, held in a separate cell, was left behind, but Kayla vowed to find him. As they moved through the twisting corridors, strange whispers echoed. Ghostly voices carried on the air, warning them to turn back. Suddenly, they emerged into the palace's central hall, only to find it empty, eerily so. Before they could react, a shadowy figure stepped from the darkness, Lord Varkon. His eyes gleamed with triumph. "Did you really think you could escape?" Kayla stood tall. "You'll never control me." Varkon smiled coldly. "Control? No, I want more than control. I want power, and you, princess, are the key." He raised his hand, and guards materialized from the shadows surrounding them. But before they could act, a voice rang out sharply from the hall's far end. "Enough!" The guards froze. A tall figure emerged from the darkness. Ethan, bruised but alive. Varkon's eyes narrowed. You again. Ethan's gaze was steady. I'm here to end this. A tense standoff followed. Kayla's heart pounded as the two men faced each other. Suddenly, Ethan moved fast, disarming the nearest guard and signaling Kayla and Lyra to follow. Chaos erupted. Kayla's world spun as she fought, dodged, and struggled to stay alive. In the midst of battle, a loud explosion rocked the palace. Flames and smoke filled the air. Ethan grabbed Kayla's arm. "We must get out, now!" Together, they fled through the burning halls, chased by Varkon's men. Just as they reached the exit, Lyra tripped and a guard grabbed her. "No!" Kayla cried, rushing back. The guard raised his weapon, but Ethan leapt forward, tackling the guard to the ground. They escaped into the cold night air, breathless and shaken. Outside, the stars shone cold and distant. Kayla looked to Ethan, fear and determination in her eyes. "We've made powerful enemies." Ethan nodded. "But we've also found unlikely friends." Kayla's sleepless nights were far from over. The real battle for her throne and for her very survival was just beginning. Shadows of the past, a dangerous alliance. The cold night air bit at Kayla's skin as she and Ethan raced away from the burning palace. The stars above seemed indifferent, silent witnesses to the chaos unfolding below. Behind them, flames licked the sky, casting eerie shadows on the distant horizon. The palace, once a symbol of strength and peace, was now a ruin, an echo of betrayal and broken trust. Kayla's heart hammered in her chest, but her mind was sharper than ever. "We can't stay here," Ethan said, eyes scanning the dark landscape. "Varkon's forces will hunt us relentlessly." Kayla nodded. "We need allies, people who believe in us." Ethan's gaze flicked toward a distant glow. "There's a rebel outpost nearby. Humans and aliens working together. If anyone can help, it's them." Kayla swallowed hard. "Lead the way." The path was treacherous, weaving through rocky crags and alien forests that whispered secrets in the wind. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound a potential threat. As they moved, Kayla's thoughts drifted back to the mysterious nights she had spent awake, haunted by dreams she couldn't understand. "Ethan," she said quietly, "why did you come here? Why risk everything to help me?" He glanced at her, a flicker of pain in his eyes. "Because your sleeplessness, it's connected to my world too. There's a darkness spreading through the galaxy. It's not just here, it's everywhere." Kayla frowned. "What darkness?" Ethan's voice dropped to a whisper. "A force that feeds on fear and doubt. It corrupts minds, breaks spirits. I've seen entire worlds fall." Kayla shivered. The pieces were falling into place. Her sleepless nights, the strange signals, Varkon's betrayal, it was all part of something far bigger. After hours of travel, they reached the rebel outpost, a hidden sanctuary carved into the side of a jagged cliff. The base was a mix of alien technology and human grit. Fighters from many species moved with purpose, their eyes wary but hopeful. A tall woman with silver hair approached, her expression both fierce and kind. "I'm Commander Rena," she said, her voice steady. "We've heard of your fight, Princess." Kayla bowed her head slightly. "Thank you for your help." Rena studied her. "We fight because we believe in freedom. But this darkness you speak of, it threatens us all." Ethan stepped forward. "We need to uncover the source of the psychic amplifier and stop it before it spreads." Rena nodded. "We've detected similar devices on other planets. They're spreading like a plague." Kayla's resolve hardened. "Then we must act fast." The days that followed were filled with planning and preparation. Kayla trained with the rebels, learning new tactics and weapons. Her sleeplessness lingered, but now it was accompanied by a fierce determination. One evening, as the twin moons rose high, Ethan approached her with a data pad. "We found something," he said. A hidden archive in Varkon's old quarters. It might hold the key to stopping the amplifier. Kayla's eyes lit up. Let's see it. They studied the archive together, uncovering ancient texts and star charts that hinted at a forgotten power source, one that could neutralize the psychic devices. But accessing it would mean returning to the heart of danger, the ruined palace. We have no choice, Kayla said firmly. If we don't act now, more lives will be lost, Rena agreed. We'll send a team with you, but it won't be easy. As they prepared for the mission, Kayla felt a strange calm wash over her. For the first time in years, hope flickered in her heart. The night before their departure, Kayla stood alone on a cliff's edge, staring at the stars. Ethan joined her silently. "You're ready," he said softly. Kayla nodded. "I have to be. For my people." He hesitated, then added, "Whatever happens, you're not alone." Kayla smiled faintly. "Thank you, Ethan." But as they looked to the stars, a dark shadow moved unseen, an enemy watching, waiting. The battle for the galaxy's future was only beginning. The heart of deception, truth revealed. The ruins of the palace loomed before Kayla and her team like a silent beast, dark and watchful beneath the twin moons. The once grand halls were now fractured, shadows creeping through broken windows and cracked walls. Kayla tightened her grip on her weapon, her heart pounding with every step. The air was thick with danger and with secrets waiting to be uncovered. Beside her, Ethan moved quietly, scanning for threats. The rebel fighters followed closely, their faces tense but determined. "We're close to the core," Ethan whispered. "The source of the psychic amplifiers should be beneath the palace's foundation." Kayla nodded, steeling herself. "Then let's find it and end this nightmare." They navigated through dark corridors, some barely holding their structure, others flooded with cold, eerie light. Strange symbols covered the walls, ancient markings that seemed to pulse faintly with energy. As they descended deeper, a chilling sensation crept over Kayla, a weight pressing on her mind, like unseen fingers probing her thoughts. "Stay alert," she warned the group. "Something isn't right." Suddenly, the ground trembled. From the shadows emerged creatures, tall, alien beings with glowing eyes and silent movements. They were guards of the psychic amplifier's core. The rebels raised their weapons, and a fierce battle erupted. Kayla fought fiercely, her training and determination guiding her strikes. But the creatures were relentless. Ethan shouted, "Keep!" moving toward the control chamber. They pushed forward through the chaos, finally reaching a massive door, etched with glowing runes. Kayla stepped forward, placing her hand on the door panel. It slid open slowly, revealing a vast chamber filled with a network of crystalline structures, pulsing with dark energy. At the center stood a device, larger and more complex than any they had seen. Kayla's breath caught. "This is it." As they approached, a voice echoed through the chamber, soft, mocking, and all too familiar. "Welcome back, Princess." From the shadows stepped Lord Varkon, his face calm but eyes burning with malice. "You thought you could escape me," he said, a cruel smile spreading across his lips. "This power is mine to command." Kayla's fists clenched. "You've betrayed your people for this darkness." Varkon laughed. "Power demands sacrifice. Even if that sacrifice is my own soul." Ethan stepped beside Kayla. "It ends now." Varkon raised his hand, unleashing a wave of psychic energy that sent the rebels staggering. Kayla struggled against the invisible force, her mind screaming to resist. Suddenly, a bright light exploded in the chamber. From the doorway appeared a figure cloaked in shimmering armor. An alien warrior with eyes glowing like stars. "Enough!" the warrior commanded. Varkon faltered, his energy wavering. The warrior approached Kayla, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You are not alone," the warrior said. "The darkness may be strong, but so is the light within you. Kayla felt strength surge through her veins. With renewed courage, she lunged at the psychic amplifier's control panel. Working quickly, she deactivated the device, watching as the dark energy began to dissipate. Varkon's power faded, his expression turning to shock. With the amplifier destroyed, the creatures guarding the chamber faltered and fled into the shadows. Varkon fell to his knees, defeated. Kayla looked down at him, her voice steady. "This ends now. You will answer for your crimes." Outside, the rebel fighters cheered. Ethan smiled, breathing heavily. "We did it." Kayla gazed at the shattered device and then up at the stars. Her sleepless nights were finally easing, but she knew the battle for peace was far from over. Dawn of hope, the legacy of sleepless nights. The first light of dawn spilled softly over the horizon, casting golden hues across the scarred landscape around the ruined palace. The battle was over, but the scars it left would take longer to heal. Kayla stood on a small hill overlooking the rebel camp. Around her, the survivors were gathering, humans and aliens, all united by a shared hope and a fierce determination to rebuild. Beside her, Ethan handed her a warm cup of tea. The quiet between them was comforting, a moment of peace after years of turmoil. "You did more than stop Varkon," Ethan said softly. "You reminded us all why we fight, for hope, for unity, for the future." Kayla took a slow sip, feeling the warmth settle in her chest. "My sleepless nights," she said, quietly. "They weren't just a curse. They were a warning, a call to act." Ethan nodded. "And you answered it with courage." In the days that followed, Kayla traveled across the Allied worlds, meeting leaders, sharing her story, and inspiring unity. The psychic amplifiers were dismantled everywhere, their dark influence fading like a bad dream. Yet the mystery of the ancient power that had created them remained a topic of study, a reminder that even in the darkest times, knowledge and understanding could be the greatest weapons. One evening, Kayla returned to the rebel outpost. She stood beneath the twin moons, gazing up at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers, but also endless possibilities. Lyra approached quietly, now fully trusted and forgiven. "You look at the stars as if you see something others don't," Kayla smiled. "I see hope. I see a future worth fighting for." Lyra nodded. "And you've earned your rest." Kayla shook her head gently. "No, my nights may still be restless, but now they're filled with purpose." Back in the palace ruins, the rebel forces worked tirelessly to restore what was lost. New alliances formed, built on trust rather than fear. Kayla knew that her journey was far from over, but she was no longer alone. Humanity and all its allies stood together, stronger than ever. As she prepared to leave for the next mission, Ethan caught her hand. "Whatever comes next," he said, "we face it together." Kayla looked into his eyes and saw the truth. The resilience of the human spirit, the bond of friendship, and the strength born from struggle. "Yes," she whispered, "together." Final lesson. Kayla's story was more than a tale of battles and betrayals. It was a lesson in hope, resilience, and the power of unity. Sleepless nights, once a symbol of fear and isolation, became a beacon of courage. The galaxy, with all its mysteries and dangers, was a place where even the smallest spark of hope could ignite a revolution. And as long as humanity, and those who stood beside it, refused to give up, no darkness could ever truly win. End of Part 6.